Good morning and welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another weekly vlog of what I get up to as a part-time reseller, predominantly on eBay. Today is a Monday, however there's no eBay stuff really happening today because it's a bank holiday, so there's no postage going out. None of that stuff. I've got a little break from family time because the missus is putting the daughter down for a nap. So I thought I'd come in to the garage and do a bit of a planning session. And I've gone through the numbers and they're not great. Again, I think the general feel is that nobody's numbers on eBay are as good as they were last year. And if you've been doing it longer, even further back than that. Let me flip the camera around and I'll show you where we landed. So this is the revenue for this week, and you can see that it's a much better week than the previous 2 weeks. And there is a slight upward trend, it's ever so slight, now that we're back listing 5 a day. These 2 weeks here I listed nothing and sales fell off. I was never going to beat last year's performance. I had a massive spike last year, and I think what that was last year was around this time I'd set, I don't know, 100 listings live in one go, and I got a massive influx in sales for 2 weeks, and then it came back down again. So I was never going to achieve that distance. But overall, I feel like because of where we were the last couple of weeks, I feel like we've had a good week. So not too bad. It was about 500 and something quid for the week. Not too bad. Today's Monday, so I've still got some sales to go. Hopefully, keep fingers crossed from that. Hopefully I'll get some more sales in. Now the out graph isn't very good reading. We are above where we were this time last year, quite comfortably as well, by £230 above this time last year. Now my shop subscription come out this week, which hasn't helped. I pay for the full shop subscription, which is like £93 a month, so that's one thing to bear in mind. So there's nearly £100 of the 230. I now have a VA, which I didn't have last year. That cost me £55 to get things listed. So all in all, I'm expecting the outgoings to be more than they were last year. So I'm really going to struggle to keep that orange line below the blue line. But we'll keep tracking it and we'll see where we end up. Let's just have a quick look at the plan for this week then. So I currently have 48 items in draft. So I have about 10 days worth of drafted already. From the stuff that I picked up from the car boot, I've got another 50 items, which means I've got another 10 days worth of stock listing 5 a day. So I've got 20 days of stock, which is great, but really I want to be building back up to 10 a day. So whilst it's great to have the consistency of 5, I don't feel like I will see enough growth sticking with 5. But I'm going to stick with it for this week, and I'll probably stick with it for a few weeks, yeah. So the plan looks like this. So Tuesday we are going to do a big post day. I'm going to get 10 photos done, minimum 10 photos done, which will be the evening after my 9 to 5 is finished, and I will set 5 live from my drafts. Wednesday is an office day, so there'll be nothing done in the day for eBay. I will again commit to doing 10 photos in the evening and setting 5 live from drafts. Thursday will just be post on my lunch break, and setting 5 Live because I play football in the evening, so there's nothing I can do with that. Friday will just be post and 5 Live as well, because my football team, Coventry City, have made the playoffs, so I will be either going to the game or watching it on the telly. Saturday, that means I've got to do the remaining 30 photos that I've got, and again I want to empty that table so I can fill it back up again on the Sunday at the car boot. So Saturday, 5 live from drafts, 30 photos completed. That will give me 50, so I will then send that 50 off to the VA for him to work on next week, and I will still have a week's draft bank, so I won't have to push the VA too hard to get the listings back to me as soon as possible. Sunday we will do car boot, where I'm aiming to spend about £150, set 5 live, and then Monday I will do my normal planning session, post session, and 5 more listings live. So there we have it. That's the plan for this week. It all hinges on whether I can get the photos taken. If I'm being completely honest, I've probably been a little bit lazy with the evenings. I could have probably done photographs throughout some of the evenings, and 10 photographs, 10 items isn't a great amount, so I've really just got to knuckle down and get on with it basically. I might even be able to do more on Tuesday and Wednesday evening, which frees up time on Saturday. That would be nice, especially because I'm probably underselling Tuesday and Wednesday because I've got 6 baseball caps, and as I said last week, they're really quick to do the photographs on. But then at the same time, I've got the Nike trainers that I need to clean before. So yeah, I will leave it at that for now, because there's a mixture of stuff that needs to be cleaned, stuff that needs to be researched, etc. Things like the military stuff I don't send to the VA. He only does clothing, so I will have to do all of the listing and the research myself for them. Not a problem. I don't pick up that much in the way of non-clothing items, so I don't think it would take me too long to research a few bits. That's the plan for this week. No wholesale this week. Really important that there's no wholesale this week. I need to try and claw some money back. Now, I do have 2 wholesale bales ordered. I ordered one last week, and I ordered one the week before last from Boom Wholesale. They both fell into the pre-order category. Normally I can get a non-branded sack for buy it now, delivered in 5 to 8 working days or whatever it is, but it fell into pre-order, so I've got 1 unbranded sack and I've got 1 branded sack to come from Boom Wholesale. Now, the branded one I ordered 2 weeks ago, so that might turn up this week, but more than likely it's going to be next week. And then the unbranded sack will probably be the week after that. So that'd be exciting. It does mean that because I've already banked the items, if I get a branded sack next week, I won't have to spend any money on stock, or spend very little on stock. So because I've front loaded the cost, and I've had a couple of weeks where I've overspent on my outgoings, in maybe 2 weeks and 3 weeks time, I might not have to spend anything on outgoings for stock because I've already front loaded it. So there might be some peaks and troughs with the outgoings. Anyway, I'm going to enjoy the rest of the bank holiday Monday, and I hope you do the same. And I'll catch you tomorrow morning bright and early for a big postage day. See you in a minute. Hey, Papa. Shall we go do some work? Yeah. Come on then. Give me a little helper today. Come on now. And welcome to Tuesday. Bank holiday is all done and dusted. We've got another one in a couple of weeks, so looking forward to that extra time off again. But we've got to get back into the picking, packing of eBay orders. So over the long bank holiday, so this is sort of Friday after midday all the way through till now, which is 8 o'clock in the morning, we have sold 15 items for a grand total of £287 and 73p, which isn't terrible. I'm not going to complain about it. There are a few items in there that are below that £15 threshold that I want. There's a couple in there that I just wanted to get rid of. There's a couple of older items in there, but we'll go through that and let's see what's sold. So the first one is A1601. A1601 is a pair of fat face shorts. They are cargo shorts and they have gone for £17.50 on offer. I think originally they were listed for not much more, £18.99. Same box, A1605. There's a pair of grey Dickies cargo shorts and they went for £24.99, full asking price on them. A707. Is a Real Tree cap, that one there, and that has sold for £12.99. B708. B708 is a British Lions rugby shirt. That one has sold for £24.99. Now I can't remember, I've sold two. I can't remember which one was in the Boom wholesale stock. I think it was the next one. Yeah. B908. B908 is a Stranger Things jumper. It came in the vintage wholesale supply stack that I wasn't very happy with, but everything seems to be selling, so maybe I was wrong. That has sold for £16.99. Cost of goods on each item was like £3 if I remember rightly. So I did at the time, I did say I should be able to make some money back on it, but I've sold quite a few bits from it now, and they've all achieved above that £15 threshold that I'm after, so maybe. This next one is a t-shirt I've had for ages, C206. It is a t-shirt by the rap artist DMX. It's quite an old t-shirt. I think it's like early 2000s, I think it was printed. That has gone for £11.69 on offer. It was up for, originally I had it listed for like 18 quid. It's come down over the past year. I think it was on for £12.99. offer came in. They'll probably use a 10% coupon actually. Next up, C210. C210 is a t-shirt by Blondie. That cost me £2. That sold for a tenner. Again, I've had that quite a while. D2006. Ah yes, this is the one that was in the Boom wholesale sack, and that has sold for £15. The next one is D308. Which is a Polo Ralph Lauren short sleeve check shirt. And that's gone for £9. I've had that a while. I think that was probably from a charity shop. Can't really remember where that's from. Probably just clawed my money back on that one. The next one is a nice one. I like this one. D703. D703. Now this is a short sleeve linen blend button up by the brand Folk. And this was actually a TK Maxx pickup. So when they did their red label event, January I think it was, I went down, and I'm not overly keen on doing the TK Maxx retail arbitrage, because I just feel like everybody does it, and then all of a sudden you get a lot of people selling the same stuff and you're just constantly racing to the bottom. So there was probably 4 or 5 of these there. I think they were like £9 each or something. Probably about £9 each. Because I went very late on the red label event. And the reason I didn't pick up more was purely because when I checked eBay, there was quite a few of them. There was still quite a lot sold, and I basically knew I'd be waiting for all of those TK Maxx ones to sell through before mine did. It's taken till May, but it's linen, it's a good brand, Folk, and it has sold for £33, bang on. So 9 into 33, couple of months, happy with that. E1209. This is one that I just wanted to get rid of. This is a monsoon tunic. It is gone for £7. It's brand new with tags. It's gone for £7. It came as part of the eBay buyout I did in December last year. So cost of goods was £3, 3 into 7. These are the lowest end items as well, so there's not going to be much cheaper than that from that whole buyout, so you know, pretty decent. I listed a board game last week, Frustration, the modern version. It is brand new and sealed, but it's sold instantly, like 4 hours after I listed it, it sold, so happy with that. It sold for £10.48 plus the £3.50 postage, which I thought it would take a while because there was people on there offering £11 free postage. So I thought it would take a little bit longer to go to sell through than that, but clearly they're happy to purchase from me. And then the biggest sale of the weekend was the Le Creuset set. and it sold for $35.99, which was about what I thought it was going to sell for. So, and again, it sold really quickly. I think because I priced it competitively, I could have priced it at about 40, 43 maybe, and accepted offers, but I thought, well, this isn't my bag. This is not what I'm geared up for. I paid 10 for the whole lot. If I can triple my money on it in a quick turnaround, that's what I'm going to do. And that's exactly what's happened. So 10 into 36 within 4 days. Brilliant. Anyway, it's time. Got to pack it though. Time to get it packed. So for the Le Creuset set, I don't have any bubble wrap. I don't really have the need very often for bubble wrap. What I do have is a mountain of newspaper. So I'm just going to use the newspaper, wrap it up really well, use 3 or 4 sheets of newspaper per item, and then the key I find to any packaging that has potential breakables is to make sure it's floated in a box. I'm going to use the biggest box I can that would cover a small parcel. So the other thing that I like to do is, because this is going to go into a box that's going to be full of newspaper, I just don't want the customer to start pulling things out and not know where the items are. So first of all, I wrap them in tape, and then I wrap them individually in black wrap so you can clearly see where the item is floating in that newspaper box. I think they need some more newspaper at the minute round them, so I'll crack on with that. Now I've done this way many times before, and touch wood, nothing's ever broken. Probably jinxed it now. But even when I was an everything seller, just because I was an everything seller didn't mean I had like an abundance of bubble wrap all the time. I sold a lot of toys and things like that. Didn't necessarily need bubble wrap. Very rarely sold that many breakables, so this way has worked every time so far. I think the key is the floating it in a box, not necessarily the items that are wrapped up in newspaper, though this will all help. You'd think that if you wrap everything really tight and compact it really tight, that would do the trick. But I think actually scientifically, if everything's together and there's vibrations, it vibrates off each other. I'm giving a science lesson this morning. So actually the best way of shipping any breakables, glassware, things like that, is to keep everything separate and have void fill in between it and have a lot of space around it, so that if a box gets dropped, the vibrations will just filter through the paper or the void fill and not affect the whole of the actual contents. There we go, science lesson over. Tomorrow's geography. Right, so you need a box. I'm not sure it's going to be able to go small parcel. No, because I don't want them touching, so it's going to need to be a medium parcel, isn't it? Okay, that we can do. There we go. Hopefully. The toaster box, we've just got a new toaster. And by the way, how expensive are kettles and toasters nowadays? Oh. Wow, I was shocked. I haven't bought a new kettle and toaster in like 6 years. I was absolutely shocked. Pay like £100 for a kettle and toaster. I'm sure back in the day I bought a kettle for like 15 quid. Anyway. Right. So as you can see, maybe, that we're not actually touching. Just going to wedge some void fill down the sides, make sure that nothing's touching the edges, nothing's touching each other. More void fill on top, place the last one on top, job done. I'm going to finish this off and I will catch you later. If there's any more eBay stuff to be done, there should be, because I should be doing 10 photos this evening, so try and keep myself accountable for that. Catch you in a minute. Well, it's 7 o'clock in the evening. I've made it into the garage. I'm knackered though. Really can't be bothered with doing these photographs, and I've just remembered that I was supposed to do 10 tonight, 10 tomorrow night. Tomorrow night I'm supposed to be going to the cinema, so it's not looking like I'm going to get 10 done tomorrow night, so it might mean I have 40 to do on Saturday. Depends how far I get tonight, I suppose. So I'm just going to crack on with it. As usual, you won't see any of the process because I need my phone to take pictures, but I'll check back in when I'm done or whenever. And we're done. So I managed to get 20 done today, so I can mark that off. So 20 done today. I'll still leave the 10 on for Wednesday, just in case I can do a few of the hats. So I might be able to, if I can still get 10 done tomorrow, means I've only got to do 20 on the weekend. Yeah. Anyway, tired. Gonna go and have a cup of tea and chill out. I might catch you tomorrow, but it's an office day, so might not. Good morning. As predicted, did nothing on Wednesday. Very busy day in the office, very busy on my 9 to 5, but absolutely nothing was done on eBay. And it's probably because I was a little bit lazy, if I'm being honest. I think that because in my head I was already on target for the original plan. So by the end of Wednesday I was supposed to have 20 photos completed, and because I'd completed them on Tuesday, I kind of sabotaged myself a little bit there. It is what it is. So nothing happened Wednesday. Nothing really happened in the way of sales Wednesday either. I had 2. And it's like a complete mirror image of last week. So last week, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday were really good. It fell off a little bit Friday. Picked back up Saturday. Fell off a bit Sunday, Monday. But this week, nothing's really happened Tuesday. Nothing's really happened Wednesday. And I'm yet to see the fruits of my labour for Thursday. So, I mean, we can pick the 2 orders. I mean, it won't take very long. So, we have D... No, we've not got D. We have B1508. So that's down here. So come with me. Come with me. B15 08. And these are a pair of shorts. They are Quicksilver cargo shorts, again from the Fleet Wholesale bundle that I got. They're selling really well. I'm really happy with that one. They've gone for £10 on offer. They were some of the cheaper shorts that I had. I think I had them up for £12.99. Somebody offers me 10, so I'm not gonna argue over £3. And then the next one is B902. Same space again. B902 is just here, and this one is a Nirvana jumper, and it came from the Vintage Wholesale Supply bale that I really wasn't happy with, but I feel like I owe them a bit of an apology because they seem to be selling really well. And that one has achieved $16.99, so it might not have been as bad a buy as I originally thought. So when I sent them off to the VA and the prices came back, and I did a little bit of investigation into it, the sell-through rate wasn't very good on them. You know, there's hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of Nirvana jumpers on there. Not that many in pink, I must admit, but for that to sell, I honestly thought it would have to sell for like £6 or £7. No, $16.99. So that's really good news. So I'm gonna go get them packed. Update, I had an email this morning saying that my Boom Wholesale bale, now I don't know which one, I'm assuming it is the first one that I ordered, which is the branded sack, is en route today. So it's going to be delivered between 2:30 and 3:30. Happy days. So it might mean that I don't need to source stock on the weekend, depending how much we get. I still have a little bit down here. I still have, this is where I store all of the stuff that has to be done inside. So anything that is longer than my board, which is any trousers, long coats, dresses, I store over here because I tend to do it all in one go. So I've got a nice couple of piles ready to go. So Saturday, that's where I'm probably going to start. I'm probably going to start with all trousers, all dresses, crack on with that. The same as suits. So I picked up this suit yesterday from my brother. It's a wool blend suit. He's got no use for it anymore, so he said I could have it. And yeah, this will have to be done in the house on the carpet because the board isn't big enough. If I ever do move down to the bottom of the garden, I would like a board that is a whole sheet of plywood, so 8x4, so I could do everything in one space. Just change the hanger over maybe, or even I won't be able to completely flat lay because the space down there is only 10 feet deep, so it might be a bit of a struggle to do a complete flat lay, but I could do more of an angle than this one's at, so I might not even need a hanger. You know, if the angle was sort of coming down here, the item would stay up a little bit more. Long-term goals, really struggling to find the money from the business to be able to afford that at the minute, because as I say, yesterday I had two sales totaling $26.99 is not going to get me the reseller room down the bottom of the garden. So yes, hopefully Boom Wholesale Sack comes and I'll do an unboxing today and we'll kick on from there. So I'm going to get these two packed up and then crack on with my 9 to 5. Well, the sack has been delivered, so let's just get straight into it and see what we've got. Rather annoyingly, no sales yet for Thursday. So even though I thought we were going to have a really good week because I was going to be able to manage my outgoings better, so I'm going to have minimal outgoings, turns out I'm going to have minimal inbound as well. So the revenue is terrible at the minute. I think for the week I'm on like £30, and that's 2 sales from Wednesday, 1 sale from Tuesday. Really poor. It's like every time I'm going to have a good week from outgoings point of view, the universe just knows that and it gives me rubbish sales as well. So maybe I just need to keep spending money, because when I spend the most money I usually make the most money in revenue. I don't make any profit, but we'll see where we go anyway. Let's get this show on the road. So first up we have a mountain equipment t-shirt. An Adidas t-shirt, but that is stained, so quite heavily stained actually. It's quite unusual for Boom. In fact, I don't even think that's real. Well, it could be. If it's pre-2000 and... It says 2001, but it doesn't have the QR code on it, so maybe it's just really old. What have we got? Trap Star. Interesting. We have a Ralph Lauren polo. That's like a towel effect one. It's not bad. The only negative I have with that is it's a size small. So, although it's a good colour, good material, size small is always going to be worse than if it was a medium or a large or an extra large. What have we got here? Plain Nike tee. Again, that feels that's really small as well. I think that might even be an extra small. That's kind of disappointing because I had one of these in the non-branded sack last time, the red one. It is a Lions shirt, it's got the zip. I suppose it is Adidas, so maybe I was just lucky last time. 38 to 40 chest. That medium. Too bad. Timberlands Earth Keepers polo, and there's not going to be much in that. At least that's an extra large. Ralph Lauren shirt. Does have the pony on it. Doesn't have a size on it though. Size has been cut out the tag. That's okay though. This looks like another Ralph Lauren. Yes, it is. 16.5 collar. I have literally just sold one identical to that actually. So that's not too bad. Yeah. Oh, we've got a Barber coat, but straight off the bat, there it is, a Barber coat. The button is in half. There is a bit of staining on there. You can see that very well. So off the bat, that's not great. There's a lot of staining on the arm. Doesn't pick up very well on the camera. Does it have a spare button? No. It smells a bit funky, that one. I'm going to leave that to one side because that's going to need some work. If that had the button and it didn't have the stains, you know, maybe it could have been 100 quid. Trouble is, Barber at the minute seems to be dropping like a stone, the prices, so it's really difficult for me to price that off the top of my head. It could have been 100 quid, it might have been 80, it might be 70, it might have been 60, but it's stained, it's missing a button. Nobody wants that. So that's disappointing. Another Nike. Double swoosh on the front, big swoosh on the back. again, size small. I'm really not that impressed actually at the minute with Boom for this particular bale. So Adidas, another small. I must have more sizes than just small, surely. Jogging bottoms. Well, don't strike me as anything special. No, they feel modern. They're like a fluffy one. They're from 2021. They're not in the greatest condition actually. They're really bobbly. So that's disappointing. So they're going to need some work as well. Let me put them in the trouser pile. We have some Puma Ferrari trousers and they are big. 2XL. They are big, they are red. They are Ferrari and Puma. I don't know how much they'll be worth. Never really had Ferrari and Puma, to be fair. Interesting. We have some Nikes. Size medium. They don't seem to have any indication on the outside that they're Nike, and they're trashed. Big rip in them. They're no good. Helly Handsome, like snowboard trousers, ski trouser things. They'll do quite well, I would have thought. Yep, they'll be alright. Nike Pro t-shirt. It's a really thin t-shirt, size large. Nothing in that really. We have another coat. This is a long trench coat from Gant, and again the size is a small. It's a nice coat, like, but can really do without size and not being a small. Okay. Nice item. We have a Berghaus, really lightweight that one. UK 14. Too bad. Deal with that. A Helly Handsome jacket. That's bright and blue, isn't it? Size is that one. Don't have a size on that one, it seems to have washed away. Feels like it's quite a big one though, that's okay. Nice walking coat. We have a Mammut, size medium. That's quite nice. Oh. And again, it's ripped quite severely as well. I don't know if there's anything I can do with that. Not happy with that. We have the North Face jacket. It's quite nice. That is a 2XL. That is nice, like that. Those. Next up we have a Columbia women's small. It's tiny. It's in good condition though, so there's that. Another North Face. This is a nice one. So reversible. Again, it's a men's small. That's really nice as well. It's a shame that's not a medium large, extra large. That's really nice. We have an LL Bean gilet. Not overly fussed with LL Bean, if I'm being honest. Doesn't seem to sell very well for me, and when it does, it's not usually for the highest amount of value. I have some jeans now by Lee. They are women's by the looks of it. Waist 26. Like kids? Is that kids? I might have to drop Boom a message on this because this sizing is not great at all. Some Levi's, which are a decent size, 36. Yep, good. Some Wranglers. They look like they're a good size. These feel nice. They are nice. Ralph Lauren trousers. They're like woolly trousers. Decent size. Yep, dry clean only. Loads of spare buttons in it. Uh, 42 regular. Cool. That'll do very well. We have a Tommy Hilfiger jumper. Size is okay in that one. That's a medium. We have a Gant quarter zip, and can you guess the size of it? If you said it was a small, yeah, we got it right. And a Lessie. That's not great, is it? Is that a branded sack item? How do you get Fat Face in an Orbis in a non-branded sack, but you get a Lessie? A modern Lessie jumper in a branded sack. I don't get it. I don't understand that. New York since 1919, champion. It's not a bad looking one though. But again, look at the size. Extra small. We have a Nike hoodie. Size large, that one's okay. A polo hoodie. Ralph Lauren polo hoodie, that's a nice one. That's in 2XL. A Levi's jumper. Size small. Now it looks bigger than a small, but still going to advertise it as a small. There's a lot less people looking for small items. We have a chaps jumper. I do okay with chaps when I get them. I don't get them very much anymore. It's an extra large cable knit. That'll do alright. Probably not the right season for it, but we have a Nike. That would have been really nice. That is proper retro looking. And then you got these kind of tags down here, but then look at the stainage on it. Got multiple stain marks all over it. It looks like, can you guess what size it is? It's an extra small. It looks like a rework one anyway, because the middle bit feels quite modern, and yet it looks like a vintagey windbreaker has been cut for the sleeves. But yeah, size extra small. Great. Okay, we have a Burberry shirt. That's the tag. It's quite nice. It's got the Burberry print on it. And then finally, we have a pair of jeans that are very distressed. I think, well, it looks at the shapes of the distressing, it's all supposed to be that way. It's by the brand D Squared, and the distressing is way down there. There's like, looks like paint, but I feel like it's probably supposed to be there. So they should be okay. But in general, I don't think that was a very good bale. I think that's probably one of the worst ones I've had. For stains, damaged and size. I mean, I've ever had so many smalls and extra smalls since ordering from Boom Wholesale. I've certainly not had that many damage. I don't think I've ever seen ripped stuff from Boom Wholesale before. Every now and again you get one with the odd bean stain on, or what did I have the other week? Rust, looked like a rust stain, like a mark, and in the wash and it's done. You know, there are sometimes you get like a grease stain on one item in the whole bag. That seemed like it was a lot more. Anyway, gonna carry on with work now. It's my lunch break at the minute, so yeah, carry on with work. I won't be processing any of this until Saturday anyway, or I think I'm gonna crack on with just trousers and dresses and stuff like that, and the long coat. Clear that down so I can fill it up again. Right. I'm calling that Thursday, I think. There's nothing else going to be happening now. I've not planned on doing any photographs tonight. I'm going to play football straight after work. So there'll be nothing done today. I'll check in tomorrow and show you if I've got any sales that I've made on Thursday. And welcome to Friday. Friday, yeah. Just to keep everybody in the loop, I have been in contact with Boom Wholesale regarding the branded sack that I unboxed yesterday, and basically said I'm not overly happy with it. It seems like the standard has really dropped, because I've never had any problems at all with Boom Wholesale. So I've never had any stains, I've never had any damage or anything like that. So I've contacted them. They have asked me to send them a video, which seems impossible to do over Outlook now. I can't even send like a 2-minute video. You only get like 33 megabytes. So I've asked them for like a FaceTime call so I can go through it with them. Even photos, I can only send 3 photos. I don't know why that is. Maybe it's because it's on my phone, I'm not sure. But I've been back, I've told them the problems. I'm just waiting for a response. I've said to them that I can share a Google Drive document with them, which has the video on the Google Drive, or they can do a FaceTime with me and I can talk them through it. So I sent that probably about 2 hours ago, so I might not get a response even today. We'll see how it goes, but I'll keep you updated anyway. So I probably won't process most of this now until I get a response from Boom, because I don't want them to say, we'll come and pick the items up. I don't know if they will say that. Am I being optimistic to think that they would say, what, send the items back? I don't know. I don't really know what happens with it. Would they want the items back? I don't know. Anyway, no sales on Thursday. A 0 sales day. It's becoming far too regular, if you ask me. I've still listing 5 a day. It's weird because like last week I only started listing 5 a day and I had really good sales, and this week I've got 40 quid in the kitty so far this week in the eBay account. But I've had 2 sales today. We have D304, D304 is a back face jumper. Yeah, I think it's a wool jumper actually. So that's good. That's gone for $12.99. That's what I was asking for it. That's what it's gone for. And then we've had one sale of B1204. May as well come down here with me. B12 is down here. 0234. B1204 is a pair of Levi jeans, I believe. Levi 721 jeans. I took an offer on these. They were up for $18.99, I think. Somebody offered me £15 5 days ago. I heard nothing from them. And then they've decided to pull the trigger today. Maybe they got paid today, Friday. So, just the 2 to go out the door. And then I will keep you updated if there are any updates today on the Boom wholesale sack. And if not, I might see you on Saturday where I need to process some stock. So I think it'll be trousers because that's what I have the most of. So yeah. Right, so it is Saturday morning, not in the garage today, we're in the living room. Now, today's plan is to get 30 sets of photos done, so 30 items can be sent to the VA. I've got my pile here, and I'm just going to use the floor. So, because my board isn't long enough, I have to use the living room floor for dresses and things like that. So that's what I'm going to concentrate on today. I tend to do all the listings in like groups of items. So if I'm doing t-shirts, I'll just do t-shirts where I can. So t-shirts, shirts, I tend to do batches of each. Shirts I find really difficult because I find you have to iron the shirts before you list them, so I tend to get however many shirts that I want to do. I'll iron them all, and then I'll list them all. So that is what I will be doing today, and I suppose I'll check back in once I've completed that task. Now, an update on the Boom wholesale branded sack. I have emailed them 2 or 3 times now. They're quite slow to get back to me. I've called them as well this morning to say that I need a call back. I've asked them to do a video call. I've got nothing back so far. I don't know whether it's just worth me trying to cut my losses on that particular bale and just start listing it, because it's stock that I need. And at the same time, I don't want to list a load of small stuff that isn't going to sell for 3 years. But it's a difficult one for me because I want to get cracking on with it. And normally I would be. Normally for my Boom wholesale sack, I would get it in, it'd be washed and ready to go. So disappointed that the customer service, they acknowledged me to say, yes, that's not acceptable, can you send us proof? And every time I tried to send them proof, you can only send like 33 megabytes through your email, which is like not even a 1 minute video. I can't show all of the faults and all of the size problems in a 30-second video. So that's still going on. eBay has been pretty rubbish. It's not been the best of weeks, I must admit. With I think I've just hit £70 for the week, and when you consider that normally on a Saturday I'd like to be sat on about 250, you know, on a really good week it'd be 300 and something. £70 is a mile off, so it's not going to be a great week. I'm just going to crack on with these listings and see where we go. I've been toying with the idea of jumping onto Vinted as well. Start selling on Vinted, I think. People seem to be getting a lot of joy from Vinted. And I don't know if I'm missing out just by staying with one platform. Because I've been pretty loyal to eBay. I've not really sold on any other platform since joining eBay. But I don't feel like I get the benefit from it. You know, I pay the most shop subscription to get the most eyes on the items. I pay a massive amount of promoted fees. I promote at what they recommend, and sometimes that's like 12% for some items. Sometimes it's not, sometimes it's like 7%, but I'm still doing the recommended promotions. And I'm still not getting the eyes that I think that all of that work desires, you know. So my impressions haven't gone up since going to a higher shop subscription, for example. My impressions have stayed the same. And how can that be? How can your impressions stay exactly the same? Surely they can't be really linear. They can't surely your impressions should be doing this, because some days people would like flood eBay and want to be looking for, I don't know, a band t-shirt, and you would think that, oh, because that's happening, you get loads of impressions maybe on a Saturday and Sunday, and then your impressions would maybe fall on a Monday. It's the same all the way through. So it feels like impressions are being restricted and items are being restricted to keep it at like 2 million impressions a week or something after whatever it is. Because you would think that some weeks it would be higher, some weeks it would be lower. Never seems to be the case for me. It's very linear. It feels manipulated in many ways. So I might try Vinted. But first of all, I've got to get these listed. So I've got to get these photographed and I've got to get them to the VA. So I'm going to crack on with that. I'll catch you if I've got any updates from Boom or when I've completed that task. Right, so that's 21 items done. That is all of the trousers that I've had stored up over the past month or so. So that's all sorted. I now need to find another 9 items. Shouldn't be too hard. I've got 6 hats. Takes me to 27. This FootJoy golf t-shirt is 28. And just a couple more to go. I do have some stock underneath this Boom wholesale sack that I'm still waiting for a response for, so I'll probably have to just dig that out. It won't be too much longer now. I think the 30 for the day will be complete in the next 20 minutes, if that. So I've done 21 in an hour and 10 minutes whilst watching YouTube, and I made myself a cup of tea, so not too bad. Crack on with the next 9. And while I'm doing all this, the dog's just sunning herself in the garden, which is where I really want to get to. So the quicker I do this, the quicker I can get out into the garden. So I have just shared the 50, I think it's 52 in total photographs to the VA so he can crack on with that. And as I was just finishing uploading it to the Google Drive, I just thought I'd have a look at my eBay impressions over the last 30 days. And exactly what I said 5 minutes ago is exactly what I'm being shown here. The organic impressions are so flat, it feels manipulated. Let me turn you around and show you. So the light blue lines, that's my promoted. So we'll ignore that because all of my items are promoted at different levels. So because eBay's recommended. So depending on what category it's in, so if it's a women's t-shirt, it'll be promoted at whatever eBay recommends, whether it's 8% or 12%, whichever way it works out. It's these dark blue lines that we're looking at here, and this is my organic listing impressions. Now, if this was truly organic, would it not have more peaks and troughs? Or why is it all capped at 31,000 impressions almost every day? Don't get me wrong, there are a few days where it goes above, but for the majority, to get that level of impressions every single day over 30 days feels manipulated. And I suppose the only way I can test this is today, once I reach my 30,000 organic impressions, is to go onto eBay incognito and try and search for one of my items. And if it comes up, then maybe not, but I'm almost guaranteeing that they'll be hidden. Because how can it not be peaks and troughs? So for the next hour or so, what I'm going to do is I'm going to review some of my stagnant listings and end the listing to sell similar. And when I say stagnant, I mean older than 90 days, which I will have a few, so that's what I'm going to be working on now. I'm hoping to get all of my eBay work wrapped up, in the next hour, so we should be done by 2 in the afternoon, so I can get outside and actually enjoy the sunshine. I probably won't do much more than that today on eBay. It means that we've achieved all of the goals so far that we set, so 50 listings in total. We're still listing 5 a day from our draft bank, so the only plan that we've still got left to hit is tomorrow at the car boot, bright and early, budget of about £150. So next time you see me, hopefully I'm walking around a field. Well, things did not go to plan. I got to the field and I thought that my chest mount was in the van. Turns out it wasn't, so I still don't know where it is. Not been able to find it. So there's no car boot footage, unfortunately, so you'll have to settle for a bit of a haul instead. Really busy today at the car boot. Lots of booters, but lots of booters selling things I don't really sell. So lots of bric-a-brac, lots of kids' clothes, very few clothing sellers that sell the brands that I'm looking for. So pretty slim pickers, but I did all right. I've got 2 IKEA bags full of stuff. 1 IKEA bag came completely from my contact at the car boot, but we'll go through it now. So to start off with, I have 4 Harry Potter books. They are the more modern ones. I picked these up if they're £1 or less, just because I try and create a set. I've got a basket there full of Harry Potter books, mixture of modern and older ones, but once I can complete a set, then I'll sell it as a set, so they will go in there until that happens. Now this might be a personal one, and I think it probably will be. This is an N64 carry case. Now I have an N64. I repurchased it as part of a retro collection that I was putting together. It's got places for cartridges because not all of my games have got boxes, so that will be really handy. I paid 10 for it, so my money should be safe if I ever come to resell it, but I feel like if I was to ever resell this, I would be reselling the whole console, and then this would add a bit of value to the console, so really quite happy with that, so I'll leave that for a personal. And then I picked up a load more military stuff. I'll show you what I've got. I picked up another one of these from last week. I've not yet listed the other one that I had. This one does have an older date on it. This is 1980. But this does come with, I've actually got two of them, but one of them has like a carry pouch that you clip on. I thought that's quite nice. So two of them. We've got a respirator, which I thought we could do quite well. I have a couple of bits now. I think are these for your legs? Are they like to go over your boots? Don't know. We'll have to do some research into that. Got some trousers. Very nice. Put them up where the trousers go. A hat. We have some more trousers. These are just like a khaki green one. There's some more of them. Some more of the same. I have another hat. Needs a bit of shaping, but you know. And all this was just dumped in a pile at the front of this guy's stall. And I basically asked how much I think one of these was. And he said £1. I was like, well, how much for all of it then? We have one of these, which I'm not sure, is it to store something? Don't know. Have to Google Lens that one. Two of them, whatever they are. I've got that on. I have like a buckle thing. I'm not sure exactly what this is. I think, do you put this over your bag and then you can hook things on? I think is what that is. We have another one of them. And then some belts. Another passed with some description, and I thought this was pretty cool. Little torch. torch alone is probably my favourite piece. This all came to 20 quid, and I thought, well, my money should be pretty safe. 3 pairs of trousers would get me my 20 quid back easy. More than, you know, £15 a pair of trousers probably. So we're well into profit there. I thought the respirator must be worth 20 on its own. Torch probably goes for about 10 to 15, so I thought we were safe. And I think it's a decent buy. I actually did get a card a couple of weeks back off a guy. When I was selling at the car boot, a guy gave me his card, and he deals with military and collectible antiques. So I might reach out to see if he'd be interested in any of this stuff, especially things like the respirator and the torch and things like that. I think maybe he'll be interested in that. So I might reach out and see if I can turn the money around really quickly. This is a personal one. This is Bucky O'Hare. It's a VHS. I have a Bucky O'Hare collection, so that's going to go straight into that. It cost me 2 quid. Next up, we have a Super Dry shirt. I think it's a women's shirt. Wouldn't normally pick up Super Dry, however, it was 2 quid. So, and I thought that the feel of the shirt was really nice. So, give that a go. Now I picked this up. I'm still not sure if it's real or not. It's a Canada Goose Arctic program, and I don't know the value. I don't know currently if it's real. I just thought it felt quite nice. It looked quite nice, and the price seemed to be quite right, if that made sense. You know, if they were selling it for like a £5, I'd have been a bit more confused by it. But they wanted 12. I paid 11 for it. They did have some other designer stuff there. So I suppose I'll just have to do a bit of research. Never picked this brand up before. I don't know what the resale value is. The quality felt nice, so I'll give that one a go. It's the end of bag one. So everything else now came from my contact at the car boot. So first thing is, and everything in this bag cost me a total of 100 and... Well, there must be some stuff in the bottom. Everything that I'm going to show you from this point until I say when cost me £106. So the first thing is this Rohan jacket, which is brand new with tags, and on the tag it says £95. So happy days for that one. Probably won't achieve £95, I must state that from the off. We have a flat face shirt, standard in my store. We have a rugby hoodie. I picked this up because I like the colour actually. It's got the English rose, it's by Umbro. And it's an extra large. What's not to like? I think this is another Rohan. Yep, this is another Rohan jacket. Very nice. Again, this is a Rohan as well. This is a very old Rohan. Proper old on that. No idea what the value on that will be. I have some Lacoste chinos, again they're brand new with tags. A Ralph Lauren polo shirt. The only bad thing about this shirt is it's red, but it's got some really good embroidery on it. Should do quite well. We have a Walking Dead t-shirt, nothing too much to write home about there. Have a Manchester United coat. The only negative about this coat is that somebody has written their name in it. I don't know if you can see that. And not many people are probably buying it this year, but next season maybe Manchester United could turn things around. We have a Fred Perry shirt. It's a nice shirt, that one. We have a Rangers coat. I know it's not the season for coats, but when they're as cheap as they are, I'm happy to keep these coats because these ones are pretty decent ones. I don't think they're sponsored by Carling anymore, so I don't think you're allowed to be sponsored by beer brands. So it must be quite an old one. And that was it from my contact at the car boot. So all of that cost £106. I then have, this is a brand called Indigo Moon, and I didn't pick it up for the brand. I don't know the brand, I must admit. I picked it up mostly because of the pattern and the material. So it's 100% viscose, however you say it. So I thought that might do quite well, and I thought it had some really cool detailing on the buttons and stuff. So I then picked up a couple of racing tops. So there's this one here from Ducati. It's got a nice back embroidery as well. And then this BMW jacket, which I thought again was really nice. Now, so the jacket was 20 quid, the t-shirt was 10. And the reason I thought, well, I'll take a punt on that is because I sold a Suzuki jacket for 44. So surely I'm going to get the same for that. So I'm doubling my money. And again, the Ducati t-shirt, I would expect to double my money. So I'm probably going to be at least 20 quid, 19.99 on the t-shirt. Probably at least 40 on the jacket. And this guy has been coming to the car boot now for, I've seen him in the last 2 or 3 weeks. So maybe if, after I've done my research on these two, if they work out well, maybe I might have another contact at the car boot where I can go, I know I'm going to get racing jackets from. So that will be really good. We have a couple of weird fish now. So the waffle knit hoodies, they're both size 20, I think, so good size for weird fish. Oh, this one's 18, that one's 20. They were £3 each, I think. Oh, and then the very last one, which was also from my contact at the car boot, is a Scotland rugby polo shirt. And that's it. I will do my best to get some car boot footage for next week's video. Just need to be more organised with it. That's it for this week. There'll be nothing else happening with this now. This will sit here until I get around to processing it, until I've done my planning session tomorrow. If you have made it this far, thank you very much again. I really appreciate you watching, and I'll see you next week. Bye.